read more like a spell book than a religious text. Because you speak to the divine without a priest, you don't need a church. Tonight, we uncover a fear the Vatican never buried, one that still lingers in candlelit walls and sealed vaults. A fear not of devils or heretics, but of something far older, Egyptian magic. Long before the rise of the church, the temples of Egypt held secrets about the soul, time, and the power of spoken words. They called it Heka, the force that shapes reality. It wasn't superstition, it was precision, and it worked. When Christianity spread, this magic didn't vanish. It was absorbed, rewritten, silenced, but not destroyed, buried inside forbidden texts, hidden in chants no one was allowed to hear. Locked in rooms, even cardinals cannot enter. This story is not about fantasy, it is about control. Because if you can speak to the divine without a priest, you don't need a church. If your soul holds power, and forget. Are they still afraid? Like the video, subscribe. We open the book they tried to erase, and the words are still alive. It was supposed to be locked away forever. But one afternoon, in 1824, a crumbling chest arrived at a museum in France, misfiled, mislabeled, forgotten. Inside, wrapped in decaying linen, was a papyrus older than anything in the museum's archives. At first glance, it looked like any other funerary scroll, but then someone translated the first line, and everything changed. The papyrus didn't speak of gods or burial rites. It spoke of light, of breath, of a force that could shape the world with sound alone. It read more like a spell book than a religious text, and within days, word had reached Rome. Quietly, urgently, the Vatican dispatched emissaries to the museum. Their mission: acquire the scroll, no matter the cost. By the time the scholars returned to study it again, it was gone. No record, no explanation, just an empty drawer. But why? Why would the church care about an old Egyptian spell? The answer lies in what the scroll described. It told of priests who could command winds with a whisper, of temples built to echo human voices into power, of symbols that weren't just writing, but tools. When spoken correctly, they could pierce the veil between worlds. It was not mythology, it was instruction. And that terrified the Vatican, because if even a fraction of it was true, then the Egyptians weren't just builders of tombs. They were keepers of something far older, far more dangerous. A kind of knowledge that didn't rely on faith, but on direct experience. You didn't need to believe in a god. You just needed to speak the right words, in the right order, at the right time. The church couldn't allow that. Not then, not now. That scroll has since become a ghost story among archivists. Some say it's hidden beneath the Vatican Library, sealed in a lead case. Others claim copies exist in coded texts, smuggled out by monks who couldn't bear to destroy it. A few even believe that fragments of its language were buried inside early Christian prayers, cloaked in Latin, altered just enough to stay hidden. What's certain is this: it should not have been found, and once it was, it vanished again. The Vatican number, one that doesn't exist in any public system. So the question is no longer whether the papyrus was real, it's whether the church still fears what it might reveal. Because if the ancient Egyptians knew how to speak power into being, then everything we've been told about prayer, ritual, and the divine changes. Maybe the Vatican wasn't protecting us from a hoax. Maybe they were hiding a truth we were never supposed to pronounce. There was a time when people looked up at the stars and saw gods with animal faces, not monsters, not demons, just
Yeah.
symbols of power, balance, and mystery.
They call Lucifer
Anubis
the
guarded the
devil. They
dead.
call Satan
Thoth
the
watched over
devil. They
wisdom
call,
and writing. Sekhmet could bring both healing and destruction. These were not evil beings.
not evil.
They were forces of nature.
There you go.
They were
Forces of nature.
teachers,
Thank you.
protectors,
Teachers and protectors,
guides.
guides.
But
Thank
that all changed when a new story began to take hold in the
Mhm.
ancient world, and the people telling it needed to make sure no one looked back. As Christianity spread through the Roman Empire, it faced Egypt, a land where religion wasn't just belief. It was woven into every wall, every scroll, every heartbeat. Egyptian temples had stood for thousands of years before the first gospel was written. Their gods weren't going away easily. So the early church made a decision. If it couldn't erase Egypt, it would twist it. And that's exactly what happened.
Mhm.
Anubis, once the quiet guardian of dead, became a symbol of darkness. His jackal head suddenly was demonic. Set, who represented chaos and transformation, was
Set
rewritten as
Anna
evil
makes Satan.
itself.
Set
Even
and an
Thoth,
Ann.
the
Set
god of
and Anna.
knowledge, was reduced to a shadowy figure in old
Me and her,
Christian
baby.
texts. Their statues were broken, their temples were converted, and their names were quietly replaced with names like Satan,
Yep.
Lucifer,
See?
and Devil.
Satan,
But it
Lucifer,
wasn't
and the
just
devil
name
is what they call
calling, it
us.
was strategy.
Bastard.
By labeling these gods as
Strategy,
demons,
yep.
the church gave people a
They call us
reason to fear
devils.
them, not question them, not understand them, just fear them. And it worked. Within a few generations, entire mythologies were gone. Sacred symbols became warning signs.
Yeah.
Powerful words were left untranslated. The gods were buried, but not forgotten. Because if you look closely, you can still see them. In stained glass windows, in old manuscripts,
Okay.
even in the hidden corners of cathedrals, the winged figures, the animal masks, the eyes that watch without blinking. They're not Christian, not really. They're echoes of something older, something the church couldn't completely erase.
Christian isn't
The
even
question is why they
Christian.
tried so hard in the first
Like,
place.
come on, man.
Maybe it was about control.
Christian
Egyptian
isn't even
magic taught
Christian.
people that power could come from within,
Yep.
that you could speak to the divine without a priest. Death wasn't an end, but a doorway. Those ideas didn't fit the new system. They made people too
The
free.
new system
And
is
freedom is dangerous when you're building an empire
on
of
down.
belief. So the gods became demons. Their stories became threats. And their wisdom was locked behind walls labeled forbidden. But not forever. Today, scholars and seekers are unearthing those old stories, translating lost texts, reclaiming names
I
that
want
were
my
once
book.
feared,
Give me my
and the more
book.
we learn, the more obvious it becomes.
Give me my
These
tablets,
gods were
my
never
scrolls.
evil, they were just in the way. For centuries, the walls of Egypt spoke a language no one could understand. Temples covered in strange symbols, tombs filled with carved
Because they
animals,
came,
birds,
the Rosetta
eyes,
Stone. They came
suns.
out with the Rosetta
People
Stone.
thought they were decorations
Rosetta.
or secret
No.
codes, but the
We
truth
left all
was
that
more
here
dangerous. These symbols
for us to find now and translate now. That's why all this shit was written in stone. That's why all this shit was written in stone so we could find it now and translate it now. We left all this shit here because we knew it would be back, and we back. So there's that. There's that. We left it all here because we knew we were coming back for it, man. And now we back. Play my thing.
were not
Thank
just
you.
pictures, they were words, and the church wanted them to stay silent. Before anyone could read
You see how this
hieroglyphs,
works
the
now?
Vatican
Did
had
y'all
already
see that?
decided they were a threat. In the
Did
Middle
y'all see
Ages,
that shit?
church scholars warned that the Egyptian script was the language of sorcerers, that to study it was to invite madness. Some even believed hieroglyphs held spells. that saying them out loud could open doors better left shut. So they banned it, quietly but completely. Any books that
Not
tried to
anymore.
decode the symbols were destroyed.
Our people are
Scholars
in
who
the
showed
Vatican
too much
now.
interest were excommunicated.
Our people are
Libraries that
getting all
held
that stuff
Egyptian
out of
texts
there.
were mysteriously burned.
Our people
But the real
have been
reason
the
they
ones
held
getting
fear
that shit and leaking
wasn't
it to the
magic,
public.
it was memory. Hieroglyphs recorded a version of
We're
history
taking over. I
that
told
didn't
y'all we
match
was
the
taking
Bible.
over this joint.
Stories of gods who came from the stars,
Got our people
of
in there
time
now.
before time, of people who lived thousands of years before Adam and Eve. The church
People
couldn't
that
allow
lived
those
thousands
ideas
of
to
years
spread.
before Adam and Eve.
If hieroglyphs were ever
Yeah, see?
translated, it would challenge everything.
Adam and Eve was
So
the
they
first.
made
No,
sure
Adam
no
and Eve
one
was
could
the
even
second
try.
creation.
For hundreds of years, the symbols were treated like a dead language from a lost world, until a young Frenchman named Jean-François Champollion decided not to listen.
They tell
In
you all this in the Bible, but you have to
822,
know how
after
to
years
read
of
it.
obsession, he cracked the code using the Rosetta Stone. He realized hieroglyphs
All of this is
weren't just
put in the
symbols,
Bible.
they
It
were
is.
sounds,
It's all
a
in
full
there,
written
man. You
language.
just
And
y'all
once
got to
he
know
read
how to
them,
read it. Read
the
between the
pastor began
lines.
to speak,
Shit.
and what it said shocked everyone. The texts described advanced astronomy, precise calendars, rituals older than the flood, spells for protection, healing, and travel beyond the body. These weren't
Astral
primitive people.
projection.
They were scientists,
Healing. Yeah.
mystics, timekeepers, keepers of a history that predated every Western scripture. And suddenly, all the fear
And no, we
made
didn't have
sense,
slaves.
because the church hadn't been wrong to be worried. If people could read these rules, they might start asking questions, big ones, about where we come from, about who holds the truth,
We didn't
about
have
what was
slaves, man.
erased to make room for a new religion. After Champollion,
They had it so
hieroglyphs
good, they
became
never
history,
wanted to leave,
safe to
okay?
study, neatly
They
placed
enjoyed
behind
being there.
glass.
They
But even
enjoyed
now,
being with us.
some
They
translations
enjoyed
are
being in
kept locked
Egypt.
away,
They
some
enjoyed their
tombs
job.
are
They
sealed
loved
off
their shit.
without
It was
explanation.
great, man.
And certain
Until this little
passages
fucker came along
from
making
ancient
trouble for us.
texts are missing from the official record. So maybe the question isn't why the church banned hieroglyphs. Maybe the question is what they still don't want us to read. Because every time a wall is translated, a piece of the story comes back. And maybe one day, when enough of the symbols are understood,
Well, we left
full
it all
truth
here.
will
So
return.
we could-
Not just about Egypt, but about
Man, let me
everything.
study on some of
The
those symbols. I
Egyptians
bet you I
didn't
could
think words
translate
were
all
just
that
sounds.
shit for y'all,
They
man.
believed
Spirit would
words
just tell
were
me what
alive,
it is.
that
You know,
speaking
Spirit was
something
about, okay, this is
could
that, this
shape
is
the
that,
world
this is that,
around
this
you,
is that.
that the right
that,
phrase,
that.
said at the
It
right
would come
time,
from Thoth
could
directly
heal,
to me.
destroy,
Like,
protect,
oh,
or even
who y'all
raise
think
the
y'all
dead.
fucking with, man?
Words weren't just communication, they were magic. And that kind of belief made the early church very nervous. In ancient
Mhm.
Egypt, there was no real line between prayer and spell. When a priest chanted a name,
Son,
it wasn't a wish, it was a command.
absolutely, you
Names
command it.
themselves had power.
Yep.
The more secret a name was, the stronger it became. They carved these names into tombs and temples to protect the dead from harm. If your name was erased, it was said your soul would vanish forever. But if
That's
your
not
name
true.
was spoken, especially in a ritual, you could live again. In a way, memory was immortality.
Yeah, that's what they're
Spoken
talking about.
words kept the spirit alive. Now,
Every
imagine a
time you
religion
say
like that,
somebody's name,
crossing paths with
they
one
come,
that taught
you know,
salvation,
you're conjuring
came
that
through
person up.
silence,
So every
obedience,
time you say, I
and
guess
one
it
who
is
truly
keeping
loved.
them alive, right?
It was
So
only a
every
matter
time you
of
say their
time
name,
before there was a clash.
their spirit comes.
The early church
You're
believed
conjuring
that
them up.
only the word of God
Makes sense.
had real power.
Makes sense,
Everything
man.
else had to be controlled. Magical speech, especially the kind used by Egyptian priests, was seen as dangerous and sinful. It gave people too much access,
Huh.
too
Give
much
people
freedom.
too much freedom, too
If
much
someone could
access to the
speak to the
divine. How
divine
dare you?
without a priest or
How
a
dare
prayer,
you speak to God
what was the
without a
point of
priest?
religious authority
Oh my
at all.
goodness. How
So
dare
the
you speak
church
to God
labeled it
without a
heresy.
priest?
Ancient
Heresy,
chants,
right? They call that,
Coptic prayers that
yeah,
mixed
call
Christian
it
and
devil
Egyptian
shit.
styles were censored or destroyed. The idea that words themselves could have energy
That's
was twisted
witchcraft. I
into
said
something
that a
more.
long time ago. I was like,
Witchcraft.
if a priest is
Blasphemy.
in there,
Even speaking in
if you're in
certain
a
ways
church
could get you punished or
talking
worse.
to God, then
Put
oh,
it
you're a
simply,
holy man,
the
you're
Vatican
righteous, it's
kept
great, you
records.
oh this
They
that. But if
studied
you're at your
ancient
house
Egyptian
talking to
texts
God, then
behind
you're a
locked
witch.
doors. Some
Right?
even
That's how it
believed the
goes.
church
If
adopted
you're in a
parts of
church
this magic
talking to
and
God, then
rebranded
it's
it.
okay. But
Latin became the
if you're
new
at your
sacred
house talking to
language.
God,
Prayers had to be
then
said
you're a
in
witch.
exact
You
patterns.
can't do that.
Chanting
No.
became ritual.
How dare you talk to
Silence
God
became power.
without a
And
priest?
while the church warned the
That's
public about
heresy,
magic
witchcraft.
speech, it used
Oh,
those same rhythms
disgusting
behind
to
the
me.
altar because deep down they knew the
Y'all are
Egyptians were
disgusting
right.
to me.
Words change things. Even today,
Abracadabra,
you can feel
motherfucker.
the way a sentence can make your skin
Abracadabra.
tingle, the way a song lyric can stick in your head for days, the way a single name can break a heart or bring someone to life in your memory. It's not superstition.
Oh, I got
It's
my
connection.
coffee. I gotta get
It's
my
intention.
coffee.
And it's old. Maybe that's why the church feared it. Not because it wasn't real, but because it was.
Intention.
The Egyptians believed that when you speak with purpose, you tap into something larger than
Move with
yourself,
purpose. Speak with
something
purpose.
timeless,
Everything
something
with
sacred.
purpose.
And once you know
Yep.
that, you can never unlearn it.
Yeah, ain't
The
that
truth
the truth?
is, words are still magic. They always were. There's a spell in the Egyptian Book of the Dead that sounds like something pulled straight from a church sermon. It speaks of a soul rising, of a body reawakening, of light breaking through darkness. But it wasn't written by Christians. It was carved into tomb walls over 1,000 years before the first gospel was even whispered. And once people started translating it, things got uncomfortable fast. The spell is simple on the surface. It's meant to guide the soul of the dead through the underworld and bring them back into life. But the words are powerful. They talk about being born again, about crossing a threshold of judgment, about standing before a divine force that weighs your heart against truth. And if you pass, you rise, not just spiritually, physically. Your flesh returns, your breath returns, your name is called, and you live again in the fields of eternity. Sound familiar? To scholars who read it for the first time, it felt like deja vu. The parallels to early Christian resurrection stories were too strong to ignore. But that raised a troubling question. How could Egyptian priests describe the resurrection of the dead in such detail long before Christianity ever existed? The church didn't have a good answer, so for a long time they avoided it. Translations of the Book of the Dead were limited. Some pages were left out of published editions. Museums quietly locked away fragments that reference eternal life. And the resurrection known today as spell 168 became something you only talked about in whispers. But eventually, the truth got out. It became clear that Egypt had its own version of Judgment Day. That Osiris, the god who died
Play. Why you supposed to stop playing? Gotta move that. Oh man, it's getting hot. It's getting hot. Woo-wee. Better turn that on. Damn. Oh, what y'all doing today? Beautiful, huh? Mm, gorgeous. Coffee in there. Put my coffee in there. My little computer done. I think it overheated. Oops. My bad. Oops. It's one of the cheap. It's like the cheapest one I could find. Little laptop I bought online. I just needed. I needed something to get online with a while back. So it's cool. Mm. Two. Balance type shit. Egyptian magic. Oh, that coffee's too hot. I gotta put that in the refrigerator for a minute. Mm. Oh, oh yeah, I can put my computer inside too. Son of a gun. That thing done overheated. Why not? What? Oh, check out this bug. Y'all ever seen one of these ass before? Look, check him out. Wait, y'all ever seen one like that? This motherfucker hard to kill, bro. You can stomp on them and they just go into the ground. They're so hard to kill. You can stomp on them and they'll just go into the ground. And man, the bite from these things, woo, they hurt. They hurt, Jack. These things hurt. Oh man, I ain't gonna mess with him. I'm gonna let him do his thing. He ain't mess with me. Shit, you know, love nature. Check him out. He's badass, yo. Woo, that bite big too. Y'all see that ant? That son of a bitch. Don't get bit by one of them. Woo, man. You'll know it. You will know it. Ooh, fire ant. I never got bit. I've heard the story. They're not. Y'all ever piss on the ground in a cigarette pattern? Probably not. Why not? It hurt. I pee on the ground all the time. Mama got I'm like, okay. And then later on, she pisses on me. Like, it rain out the sky, and she pee on me. See, it all goes back. It's a cycle. I piss on her, she pisses on me. Like that. You see how that goes? Not a big deal. People don't know about it. We love pissing on each other. Yeah, so the whole world. I'd be proud. I'd be proud to do something. Tell everybody. Tell everybody. Proud. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. It's all in our face. Work all over. Yeah, I don't know if it's my job. Screaming and squirting. Oh, volcanoes and shit. Waterfalls going on. Right? Big old butt in. Hey, look. I piss on the ground all the time because Mama Gaia is like, please pee on me. So I pee on her, and then later on, it'll rain, and then she pees on me. We don't piss on each other like that. It's all good. It's a cycle. You know, give and take. Give and take. I'm just saying, man, y'all should maybe piss on the ground in a little figure eight pattern, make dollar signs. You know, I mean, that's what I do. Dude, no, I mean, chicks, no, no, chicks, women, I'm sorry, women, y'all should probably take that menstrual blood and pour it out on the ground. If you can collect it in any kind of way, I wouldn't know how to do that. Or, I don't know. I'm not saying. Figure it out. Figure it out. There's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, you either take your pad and bury it in the ground. That probably work. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to really. Yeah, pretty sure that would work. Bury that motherfucker in the ground. Really, oh my God, that's cool. Actually do that shit too. People with old tampons and shit like that. Had tampons and shit like that. Oh my God. Stop it. Okay, stop. This is fucking gross and sick. This is gross. Oh no. No, they don't. Yes, they do. No, they do. I know, man. I just don't make me gag. Another body fluid. I never gave blood. I had a real hard time getting my blood at the hospital, man, because my veins just shriveled up. Little tiny little fucking small where they, and this bitch kept, she busted one, and then she kept fucking with my shit, poking around in there. And boy, I cussed her lower than a fucking dog. I made that little nurse cry. That little fucking bitch, what she did to me. Fuck you, little nurse. Fuck you. You deserve that shit, you fucking bitch. Fuck you for what you did to me. Cunt. Oh, I made that little bitch start shaking and crying and fucking. They had to call in a professional. They had to call in a professional. You know, like, the guys that, I forget what they call them. What that fucking bitch did to my arm. She blew a fucking vein. And then she fucking all digging around in there and shit. Bitch, if you don't get that fucking hit off. Oh, man, I went off on her, man. I called her all kind of names. Stupid little fucking cunt. Hell no. Hell no. Oh shit, you ain't gonna take my fucking blood, god damn it. Never. I know what y'all be doing with the fucking blood and shit. You stupid. See, we don't know. God damn it. I don't think we don't know why you taking our fucking shit samples whenever we were children. Like, tell them what they were doing with it. Do shit like that, tell them. Fucked up. Why when the president of the United States goes somewhere like they make sure they collect all of his feces, all of his urine, and dispose of it properly. They don't, you know, like the president can't go somewhere and shit in the toilet, okay, and then leave. That doesn't happen. It can't happen because then that could get, you know, his urine or whatever, right? That's how it goes down. That's why they collect it. So they keep it so they can dispose of it properly. They probably have an incinerator like Air Force One or whatever. You know, but yeah, tripped out, huh? So people can't do witchcraft on it, man. With it. Always trying to get some blood. Hell no. Blood. Taking my blood. God. I did that last night. Started fucking. Started shaking and shit. That bitch got the fuck out of my face. I was totally under spiritual warfare, attack, all this. The last thing I need is some stupid little amateur come fucking poking around in my fucking arm with a needle, fucking blowing veins and shit, digging around in there like some fucking I almost slapped him, man. Oh, slapped him. In the eye. I wouldn't have slapped her. I probably just punched her straight in the eye. Wow. Not hard or nothing. I wouldn't hit her hard. Just enough to fucking wake her ass up. But I did. Hey, I did. I did. Okay. I was under heavy demonic attack. All the shit. And they knew that shit too. When I went in there, I heard it like over one of their radios. One time, it was like, the spiritual warfare, right? That's what I. And so they knew that that was the one and only time anybody had said any fucking thing about any of that. Was that one time we were over the radio? And after that, in the hospital, the fucking other place I went after that, nobody said anything about anything spiritual at all, ever. Unless it was us, patients, talking about it. But yeah, it was being experimented on. You know, wasn't no no coincidence I was in there. Five other people, the same shit, just walking down the middle of the road. The middle of the road. I wish somebody would, like, walking down the middle of the road naked. I wish somebody would hit me. Like, come on, oh, come on, you want to attack me? You want some of this? Like, hey, come get some, motherfucker. I wish somebody would. Cause when you to a point where that's all you get is demonic shit and demonic, and you get to the point where word. Look, I heard his voice, right? Under all that spiritual attack, possessed, all this other shit. Fighting it. I was fighting it, but I couldn't no more. I had the whole Catholic Church, the whole Holy Roman Empire doing fucking spell work on me. It was too much. I couldn't. I know I'm big shit and everything, but man, I went up against the whole Catholic Church, man. The whole Holy Roman Empire, right? The whole fucking empire was doing, on me. Below me. I was fighting it. Wow, it's like the point where I couldn't, man. It's too much. It's too much. I heard his voice, right? Opposite day. The Seinfeld episode. Or just ended opposite day. What I did is I do the opposite. What's something? What's the last thing that I would ever do? Ever? Like, totally out of the box shit. Take my clothes off and just start fucking walking. By faith, not by sight, right? I was looking at myself in the mirror. Looking at myself in the mirror, I'm just like, I'm gonna have to take my clothes off and just start walking. I walk by faith, not by sight, right? So that's what I did. Even though in a ritualistic fashion and everything, it was like I left one piece of clothes here, one there, sock here, piece of clothes there, all the way down. I was just walking, and then I take a piece of clothes off, and I keep walking, and I take another piece of clothes, and I keep walking, and I take another piece of clothes off, and I keep walking. Last thing I'd ever do. I did it. Did that shit. Christmas morning. Right after the girls went to church. The cops was like, I thought you were supposed to be over here taking care of your family, your mom and the girls and all this. Your brother's children and all this shit. And I was like, well, my aunt and my uncle, my nieces, they got the girls. They can take care of them. They got that shit. They got it. Like, man, they didn't get it, man. They didn't understand what's going on. I was under spiritual attack by the whole goddamn motherfucking Illuminati, which includes everybody that's in the Catholic Church. Every time they go through a mass, I would feel that shit. Oh, the sacrifice making, and every time that it's like, I used to feel it. I used to feel that shit, right? Now I don't even, I don't feel it. Really, I don't even think about it anymore. Today, because I tell him a stupid little story or whatever. How I went up against the whole Roman Empire and won. They lost, but we won. We won. being on the scene. I mean, she's pissed. And she is pissed off, front wrath with her. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? She's pissed off. Front wrath. Yeah, I don't know what the word. Yeah, the angel, archangel, other divine beings, light beings, all kind of different things. That's why they call us human beings, right? Because we are beings, we are in a state of being. We exist, but in the present, past, and all timelines, at all times. We be. You know, we don't really have to be anything in life. We have to be. We be animals. Thank you, Bird, for the confirmation. Love you. Shout out to the animals around here. Since I don't have other things to give me coffee, I gotta rely on the bugs, the birds, elements. Well, I'm gonna be where the bees are. Where the bees are, the bumblebees, the honeybees. I wanna be where the honey is. It's right here where the honey is. Honey's right here. Texas, Louisiana. Texas, Louisiana is the only two states that have bees that nest naturally. That have hives naturally. Every other state don't. Their wild bees are strong. They're bee forms, but not the same. So I figured, well, all this shit's going down. Well, you know, I'm in the perfect place. And I'm already in the land of milk and honey. Like it's all right here where I'm at. So, you know, confirmation from the heart. Why do I have to go anywhere? Because I'm already where I need to be. My bees right here. Where the bees are, baby. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be where the bees are. You know, we brought them here. We brought these. They came from our planet. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know, man. Different races. They show y'all in the movies. Yeah, there's clones, different races, hybrids. Yeah, man. But then they show you in the movies, right? Truth in all these movies. So, yeah, did you cry when you seen it? I didn't really cry, but man, I felt some emotion whenever I seen it. Last Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Rocket Raccoon and his story and everything. But oh man, that that hit home. It's like damn. Ooh, I felt that shit. Ooh, I felt that in the gut, you know? That's so true. Maybe we can find out. not a theory. Okay. It's a real thing. Oratory, I mean, all this shit, like the founding fathers. Okay. You know what oratory is? Everybody should know by now. Alright. Photo stuff, stuff and all this. And how the founding fathers came here and founded like that. It was already set up with all these massive buildings and energy, fireplaces. Well, they weren't fireplaces. The spirals and all this stuff, man. They came and found it like that. Well, they call them the founding fathers. That's how come it was set up like almost overnight. And the foundation was already here. Foundation was already here. All that they came and tore it down and made their own foundation. Fault, fault, for all the systems. Nothing's there. Nothing's there. Anyway, all the systems are going down. Something, huh? No more systems. Make your own system. Oh, where my coffee is, man? Yay, yay. Oh, warm. Yeah, well, I guess that's the truth, man. They found this shit like it was, and it was all, it wasn't white people that built it. I just say that. And Europeans came over here, Asians and shit, and found it like that. They claimed it to be their own and turned the people that were already here into what we call slaves. And that's what happened. They just enslaved the people that was already here, you know? So, yeah, that's that. Yeah. Yeah, I knew it. You got a big debt to pay. A big debt price to pay. Yeah. Yeah. Coming to collect. Coming to collect. Coming to collect. You hear me? My brother is coming to collect. I'm coming for everything. When I say everything, yes, I mean everything. Save the people that was already here. You know. Sure. Yeah. Go away. Go. Oh. What y'all want to talk about? Talk about how the founding fathers came over here and found stuff like it was and enslaved the people that was already here. Talk about that. The Indians, people in God. George Washington knew. He named them that. He knew who they were. Indios. In God. Come on, man. They already knew. They came over here bringing these people these texts, like the Bible and so on and so forth. And, and they were like, excuse me, but we already know this. Like, this is our stuff. This is our stuff you're talking about. What are you doing telling us our own stuff? Like, what? Wait a minute, something's going on here. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. You're like, yeah, y'all go into your churches and you talk about God and you talk about this, that, and the other thing. God, Jesus, God and Jesus, right? And Holy Spirit and and we go in our TVs and we talk to God. We talk to directly to source. We don't need a priest, as a liaison or whatever, or to tell us, whatever. We go straight to the source. We go straight to the divine. And if you go straight to the divine, then who needs a priest? Who needs religion? Who needs churches? And there's a whole lot of money in that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. It's all about that. The almighty dollar. Woo! Almighty dollar. That's what it's about there for. It's not about God. It's not about Jesus. It's not about Christ. It's about the dollar. It's about money, money, money. Money. And yet, don't you know a lot of these pastors are doing black magic, behind the scenes to get y'all to go to the church in the first place? I think these mega pastors get all these people to go, right? Because I know, look, I've looked at Joel Osteen before, and I've been entranced by him. Whenever I was at my lowest and I was watching TV all the time, I was possessed and everything, and I watched that TVN, and I was like, oh man, they're casting a spell on me. I'm like, these motherfuckers is casting spells on me, and I don't appreciate that shit, motherfucker. So I had a vision of Joel Osteen crawling on his belly like a snake eating dirt, because he is a fucking snake. Maybe that's just me seeing him for what he really is. I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I didn't play any music on that one, did I? No, I don't think so. You good, I think. I am good. I'm on copyrighted. Nothing. I don't care. Okay, cool. I guess I'll save this one. I don't know. I didn't play no music. I'm not copyrighted. Whenever I'm feeling down, damn, I fucking. Oh, who needs a damn church whenever you can just talk to God yourself? You know, talk to God all the time. I'm doing it right now. I stay in Holy Communion. Y'all know what communion is? To commune, spirit. Communion is not going in a little church and taking a white man's cracker. That's possessed with some demon. No, three demons specific, but no communion. To commune, right? I commune with nature. I commune with the spirit, the divine, with everything. Perfect harmony and communion all the time. Well, not all the time. But I try to be the best I can be. Stay in contact. I have to. I have to. You just see that ant? I forget what kind of ant that is. Yeah, that army ant, maybe? No. Red velvet ant. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's it. See that red velvet ant? Oh, that motherfucker is red. Bad bone. Confirmation. Yeah, I'm gonna get off of this one in a minute. That way I can save it. This one's probably a good live stream, I think. Went well. I think this one went pretty well. But yeah. I want to look at that ant, that red-bellied ant. Uh, little beetle.